Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. You probably see something a little different here on my table, and it is. I thought I would bring you guys along with me. This is a little something I do on the side, and I honestly thought I had taken these off of eBay because I love them. And I forgot to take these off of eBay. So, these are, it's 5 little coffee mugs. It's the tulip and butterfly. They are stackable coffee mugs. And it's 5 of them, which I would not want to stack 5 of them. But and what I'm doing here, I have this weighed out. I know it is actually more economical for me to ship these through eBay, which is what I'm going to do. Yes, this is a Missouri Star quilt box, but that's not what I'm using it for. I didn't order anything. I actually need to get that out of the way so you can see me. Now, this order was made on the 1st of January, and eBay failed to send me a notification. And luckily, the buyer sent me an email today. So, I'm getting this package to get it sent to Florida. But my biggest issue is this. This is a coffee mug stand. These are the coffee mugs. They are tulip and butterfly mugs. I got these at an estate sale, and I will say what I paid for them at the estate sale may be close to what I'm selling them for, because I'm not selling them for a lot. I don't normally do that, but there is only a set of 5. Even though the rack will hold 6, there is only a set of 5. So what I am going to do, I'm going to video packaging this, so I will have documentation and evidence that I did ship packaging. You know, I did package it properly. So I have my box sitting on a scale over here. I'm just going to go on and put the metal rack in it. And I have my bubble wrap here. I have another roll back there behind you if need be. Let's see if I can find the end of it here. And I always use bubble wrap. Sometimes I use paper as filler to help fill the box so nothing moves around in it. So let me just get started with rolling these up. And I did have some craft paper there that I'm not going to need now that I'm using a Missouri Star box. I need to try to get all this paper off of it, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is just package each cup up. Now that I have that standing there, I can start wrapping each cup really well with the bubble wrap. And I have additional that I can put in the box. But I wrap it with one layer. I do each cup that way. And I know y'all probably don't think that this is what you want to watch, but hey, I've got some sewing coming right up next. I just needed to get this packaged. And I've had too many of my packages, even when they're like triple bubble wrap, end up broken, especially of vintage items. And the USPS is just not very helpful. And even though I insure everything way more than what is paid for it, because I never sell these things for what they're actually worth. I sell them way below what they're actually worth. And I hope if the buyer has to go find it again, that if they make a claim on it, that they're able to claim it at the full amount that they paid, because I could not. I had a vintage sugar and creamer set that I paid a pretty penny for, and it sold. And when it got to where it was going, one of the items was shattered. And they wanted me to submit evidence of packaging. Well, this is going to be my evidence of packaging, because I don't know how the item got broke. No idea. Because the box looked fine. And I know how it looked when I shipped it. All of these are in good condition. The handles are fine. So we've got one layer of bubble wrap on everything right now. So here goes my second layer. My second layer, I just roll it in, fold that over, and this one I will tape. But I'm going to show you what I do when I tape it. And I always fold the end to where they'll have like a tab to pull. Don't you hate getting stuff that's wrapped really well with and taped really well, and then you can't figure out how to get that tape off? Well, I do this so you don't have an issue. Get that under there. Oh, my tape is sticking together. There we go. And you will see that I am taping this bubble wrap, so it is not going to come off. So you got a tag there where you can unwrap your bubble wrap. That is wrapped very good. Now what I do is I put these close to the center of the box. Let me find the handle. So the handle is turned toward the center. This is what they're looking like. I am going to get my other roll and put on top and around the package. This is my other bubble wrap I have. I am going to tear some pieces here to see if I can stuff it really good. And I'm stuffing like everywhere. There is not going to be a single cubby or hole here at all. Okay. And this is going to be my top cover here. Now, that is done. So, it is going in a Missouri Star quilt box. But now what I have to do is print a packaging slip, throw that in there, and we're at 63.9 ounces. So Emily in Florida, I have your package here, getting ready to ship this out. Now I need to get my measurements and everything. I've got to get it weighed. So I have it packaged. I need to tape it. What I need to do is get me some of that tape that's got my name on it. I'm sorry, Emily, if I'm putting way too much tape on here for you, but I don't want the package coming open. So now I get a final weight. We're showing 64.1 ounces. Okay, I now have the label printed. We are going to put that on the box. And since I will be working, I will have my husband drop this off as soon as the post office opens. So, Emily, here is your box. It is packaged very, very well. And I hope you enjoy this. I'm so happy it's going to someone that will enjoy it. Okay, so now that we have that little bit of business out of the way, this is what I have on my table. I actually do not need this one. I'm not sure how big of strips I need to cut this one into, but I may go down less than what I think I did, just to be on the safe side. So what I'm actually working on right now is my Santa Gnome. I am putting the borders on this. I completely forgot I had this one going on because I have so many projects going on that I completely forget what I have going on. So what I'm doing, I'm going to get my fabric here. I don't have but like a yard, so I'm thinking I was going to do about a 3-inch strip, maybe a 4, but just to be on the safe side, I'm only going to do a 3-inch strip. Y'all are going to see how I cut fabric. I don't always do it sitting down, but I am today because my back is not happy with me today. It hasn't been happy with me since I started cleaning out my house. But I realized today I could not stand up very long without it starting to hurt. So it is what it is. It's just part of getting old, guys. It's just how it is. So what I'm going to do is just go in and cut my strips into 3-inch strips. Let me turn you down to my table a little bit. Okay, guys, here you can see my tabletop, and you can see a little bit of my roundabout there. What I am going to do, and my machine's right here, so you see exactly how much space I have to cut. And yes, guys, I know I sound very heavy breathing and right now because I've got a little cold trying to come on. And I have a little cough with it. But, you know, when it is 70 degrees one day and below 30 the next, you can't expect everything to be just perfect. But you know what? I'm blessed. I'm here. I'm blessed. I can sew. So I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just telling y'all, don't be too concerned about me. I do keep a good check on my breathing because I do have issues with that. I have asthma, so there you go. You know why I breathe so crazy now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Stripology. I'm going to cut these strips at 3 inches. And how I do that, I've got this side completely even, and I press down and push next to that fabric because I know it lines it up perfectly. And if you know your multiples of 3, this is pretty easy to do. And I know you see me coming back. I do that because sometimes I'm not pressing hard enough. I'm going to take my Stripology out of the way, and then I'm going to get all of my strips. And yeah, I will. This fabric is a little stiffer. I'm trying to see if it tells me who it's from. I don't think it does. You would think it would, but it doesn't. But it is it's just a stiffer fabric. I don't even remember where I got this. Probably Hobby Lobby. But for quilts that my grandbabies are going to play on, I do like to have a stiffer, rougher fabric because they're going to play on it. They're not going to sleep under it. And this could even be a wall hanger, and this stiffer fabric holds its shape better. So, you know, I'm just not real sure yet what its purpose is going to be, but I love this little Christmas gnome. He's so cute. And y'all, this is a pattern that I tested out for Andrea at Mama J Enterprises. I will have her channel also linked. And I know she isn't going to get this pattern out. This, of course, it's not out before Christmas 2024. But I had fabrics coming in that actually still are not in. Now that I think about it. And I had to go buy this fabric. See, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I get off center too on this. I know I don't cut normal, but you know what? That's okay. And I know this one here just jagged all out there, but I don't care. This is just a border, and I can hide a border really easy. But I'm going to make strips and box them. And like I'll do the two short ones, top and bottom, and then I'll do the long ones on the sides, or either I'll do, this is called Fabric Traditions, or I will do the long ones on the top and bottom and the shorter ones on the side. That may be how I do it, because the sides are longer, of course. Now, this fabric, if you've ever gotten fabric at like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, you know, sometimes their fabric's not quite even on the end. It could happen at fabric stores too, but not quite to this extent. This one right here, I'm going to show, I don't know if you can see it, but you see there's a big difference there. And this is not even straight on this edge. Let me see if I can lay it here and if you can tell the difference. This is laid on a straight line right here. Now, right here, this is 3 inches long. Right here, it's 2.5 inches. So, you know, it's just one of those things. So, I am going to see if I can get these sewn together, made into strips, and start putting them on the Santa Gnome. Okay, I am back now. Being that these are not going to be binding, I'm going to sew them in a straight line. And I hope I can bring you along for me sewing them on my quilt. But I tell you guys, it's already been a long day. And let me give you a little weather update. I know I have told you guys that in the bad weather, I normally have to work. And I do. And right now, we are looking, I'm going to call it AM and PM shift. And just know if I say AM, that's like 12 AM midnight to 12 PM noon. I work the AM shift, which means I will go in at midnight. And currently, I have to go work my normal shift. The day you see this is going to be Wednesday. I have to go in and work my normal Wednesday shift. And from there, okay, I've got to cut this thread, this fabric, because there is that fabric label, and somehow this one is not as big as the other one. I know how it is. That's where my cutting goofed up. But I'm just going to cut that end off because it's not necessary to cut the other one off. For my new people, you will notice I don't worry about all of this. I sew and then I make it work. You know, fabric is stretchy, so, you know, we can make it stretchable. This, though, I don't know how stretchable this is. It's not even wanting to do what it needs to do right now. I will say that this is not a very comfortable fabric. It really is not. But once again, it's probably going to end up being like a wall hanging. So, no harm, no foul. It'll be okay. I'm going to just turn this one up and lay one on top of it. Let me grab another one here. Make sure it doesn't have any words on it, you know, like labels or anything. And now, as long as the selvage is not white, I don't really cut it off. I just leave it. I don't sew on like the frazzled side. I put that outside of my 1/4 inch. Because 9 times out of 10, when you start washing these, okay, so I've got 3 here. I'm going to go on and do a fourth one. And this will be for my sides. Okay, let me get back to the weather. As of right now, when you're seeing this, I get off of work at 4:30 p.m. I go in at 6. I get off work at 4:30. They have me coming back in at midnight on Wednesday night and doing that, working the Thursday a.m. shift, the Friday a.m. shift, and the Saturday a.m. shift. So I will only work my regular hours on Wednesday, and then we start the weather shifts after that. Now, for the people that work the PM shift, they would end up just having to stay over until midnight. They would come in at 6 a.m. and stay until midnight. To me, that's just rough. I think I've got 4 here. Yeah, I have 4. So I have 4 strips sewn together right here. So I'm going to say that's one side. And then I only have 5 strips there. Now, of course, when this is sewn, it's only going to be a 2.5 inch strip. Let me go on and sew that onto my panel. So I will be able to see if I need 4 strips or not. I'm going to do this on the side and let the top, since the sides are so long, I'm going to let this be the sides. Okay, so I have my right side here, and I've got this big quilt in my lap now. And what I am going to do is just lay these right sides together, and I am going to pin some here because this is a heavy quilt and it is going to be hard for me to hold it all together. Let's get the needle in here and get it started, and then we will try to just keep it on that 1/4 inch seam, or 1/4 inch after that. This is very heavy, so it is pulling, and I don't like stuff that pulls, because when stuff pulls, I'd just rather not do a border on it, and just send it to the Longarmer. I am an impatient sewer quilter. If it starts pulling, I don't have patience for that. Because if it's too heavy, it's just too heavy. And there's nothing I can do about that. I really need to... Oh, that is like... I have no idea what just happened there. My guess is it pulled. So I am going to take this out. And yes, y'all, this is stiff fabric. I am not worried about tearing this fabric. So it looks like I am going to have to pin this all the way down. And that's not going to be pleasant for me. I don't like having to pin things when they're straight edges, because that should be easy to hold together and just sew. But when you've got a quilt this big and this heavy that is pulling, just know that it is difficult to put a border on it. But some of y'all may have a bigger table than I have a better sewing area than I have. But you know what? I use what I got. Okay, y'all, I've got that all pinned up now. We are going to see if we can get this working. Sometimes you have to do things that you wouldn't normally do and don't really care to do to make something come out the way it should. And that's what I'm having to do. I'm having to pin my border on. But that's okay. That just makes sure that I'm taking my time to get it right. Because I'm sure Andrea would not want me to rush it and would want me to have a quilt that I am very satisfied with. And that is what I am doing here. I am making sure I am going to have a timeless treasure in my home for my grandbabies. Because I know when I think of Christmas, and I know it's after New Year's, but you know what? That's okay. When I think of Christmas and my grandmother, I think about things that she had made and that we always used at Christmas time. She had crocheted some little, I call it lace angels. And she would starch them real stiff so they would stand up. And I actually think I have some things that she had crocheted like that, like lace and stuff like that. I think I still have something in one of my trunks from when I was a teenager. When my sister got married, she had made us all little lace fans. That was kind of our bouquet, was a little lace fan with some little flowers probably on it. Make sure everything is stitching real good. It looks good, y'all. And I tell you what, the fighting I did with that box earlier has already got me over an hour, and I know I haven't been sewing 15 minutes. Okay, so we're going to try this again. My thread broke there. It's probably about time for a new needle in here. I try to do a new needle at least every other project that I do. Because sometimes, especially if I use pins, because sometimes I run over the pins and I know that's not good. But, you know, it happens sometimes. Just if you're going to do like me and run over them pins, you better make sure to have a good supply of needles. Or, yeah, if you're going to run over pins with your needles, you need to make sure to have a good supply of needles. And I do. I make sure I got plenty. I actually have 2 boxes, brand new needles over here that I caught the other day at, I think I caught them at Hobby Lobby after Christmas, and there was a little sale going on them. Now, I mean, they weren't 90% like everything else I got. But I didn't buy them in the same haul either. So let me just, and it was a small haul. It was just some real small things. I knew I needed some needles. I probably got some fabrics or something. Can't remember. And actually, I might not have gotten them at a Hobby Lobby. I buy my supplies from anywhere I can get them. So what I'm doing right now is just sewing this border on. Okay, guys, so I was telling you about the weather, working the weather. I know I keep having things happen or I forget what I'm doing. It looks like I may have to work. I am still going to try to be live Thursday night with Tammy. Now, if I have to work my Thursday shift and then regular Thursday shift and then go in at midnight, I won't be on the live. So Tammy, if you're watching, I'm just gonna let you kind of know that. I won't know that until that day, because right now we're on, I guess they call it, we're on standby right now. We really don't know what's going on. I did see a weather map earlier, and it did not have our parishes or the parish I live in. It did not have us in an ice risk area, which I may end up not having to work any of it. But what it was looking like was that I was going to be working Wednesday and working Wednesday night. I don't mind working it, honestly. It doesn't bother me to work it. I'm fine with it. They just need to let me know if I'm going to have to work it, so I can go get me some little pot pies and I'll stick them in the freezer at the office. Now, if we lose power, that's going to be a different story. I may need to find me a little cook something that I can plug into a little power. Oh, we got a generator. I ain't worried about that. We got a huge generator at work, so I'm not worried about that. Yeah, we got a new generator this year at work, because our old generator, I've been in the job I'm at since 2019. That generator has never worked, and we got one today finally. So, and the old one was across the road from us, which is a major highway. And besides, I am not going to need 4. I may need 3. No. 1, 2. Looks like I may only need 2. Ooh, that's pretty good. So if I only need 2, I will unstitch these other 2 and put them on the other side. And I haven't decided yet what I am going to. I think I was going to use the Blizzard. This is Blizzard. I think I was going to use that to bind it with, but I have now since used that and cut it up for another quilt. So I'll just find something else. I mean, seriously, y'all, it's not like I don't have plenty in my stash. And Maureen, I did get your email. I hope I have responded to it before you see this video. But yes, that is fine with me. Just check your email. I hope to be responding. If I don't forget, I hope to be responding as soon as I get off of here tonight. And actually, while I'm doing that, let me respond right now. So you will have it before this video comes out. Okay, Marlene, my response is sent to you. I knew I would forget it if I didn't do it right now while I was thinking about it, because I was going to respond earlier and I just didn't. So Marlene, it is in your email now. And actually, if you responded last night or this morning, I may have already been able to package it and ship for you. So now I have that first side with the border. So what I am going to do, see, I have that much. That's where I join, and I have 2 pieces here. I'm going to make sure I only had the 2 pieces, because I only had to sew over one joining piece. So what I'm going to do is take out this one. This is awesome, guys. I may have too much cut up. I think I actually had this cut so I could do a 4-inch border. But I really don't need to make this a huge quilt, especially if I'm going to hang it on my wall. And it may be just a little throw quilt that I throw on top of my guest bed also at Christmas next year. But I love, y'all, I love this red and that yellow where it comes to. I love that. That's beautiful. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm just going to twist. And that iron is hot, so I'm going to try not to touch it. Guys, I'm going to pin this, and I'll bring you guys back once I've got it pinned. Okay, y'all, I have got that pinned. And I'm going to tell y'all, this is so dangerous for me because I've got a lot of pins poking out over here. And I don't know if y'all know how prone I am to poking myself with a pin, but it's highly likely that I will poke myself with a pin. A bunch of pins, not just one. A bunch of, oh, yep, there's poke one number 1. And so you can probably tell this is pretty heavy. It's just not even, I have to make it move. But you know, this will be a nice, warm, like we have too many of these winters like we're having coming up. I don't think we're going to get anything personally. Personally, I think I won't end up working, which is kind of sad because I like working. Okay. Guys, I see why it's going all crazy. I didn't have my dual foot down. No wonder it's going crazy and not wanting to work right. This is a lot smoother now. Lord, that could have been so much easier had I had that dual foot down. I didn't pay no attention to that at all. I need to get all of my feet where they have that on there. Because without it, it's just like it takes a life of its own. But y'all, if I get this top done, this will be top number 2 that can go to the Longarmer. Now, like I said, I don't want to get too many done at one time. Well, I just can't take a lot of them to, well, you know, I have downsized my budget. I mean, my spending on my budget. I do need to call and get my other box canceled that I'm getting. I'm continuing the Fat Quarter shop for the Peaceful Basket, but I am trying to work through my project boxes. I will put this out there because I have been asked about it. If you are interested in a project in one of the boxes and you would be willing to pay retail, now this is within the States, retail, I will ship it for free. If I have the box and I have the project and you think you might be interested in it, let me know and we can work something out because I'm not going to finish all of these projects. Because there's just not enough hours in the day and days in the year for me to get all of these done. And y'all, once again, my boxes go almost to the ceiling now. I did get one box out of there. That, I think the spooky box. I did get the spooky box gone because I wasn't a fan of the fabrics. I don't like anything with skulls on it. I just don't like that. I think that's cutesy Halloweenish things, but I don't really decorate for Halloween because I like to decorate for a full season. Now, you know, like February, I do the whole month for Valentine's Day. Christmas, I still got my Christmas up. My Christmas tree over here. My tree's still in my living room. My mantle is still decorated for Christmas. You know, all the things are still up. Whoop. Okay, there's another poke. That one got me in the belly. So, y'all, we need to make an estimate, a guess, an estimation of how many times I'm going to poke myself with a pen. I've had a couple that were minor that weren't, I didn't count. But that was a pretty good one in my tummy there. So I know if I'm getting 2 of these across the sides, let me see if I can do just 1 across the top. And I may even be able to use this as my binding, which I don't know that I want this color as my binding. I may do a white as my binding. I may do a yellow because I'm going to have blue. And then I have the green borders. So I may do a yellow. I may do a red. I may do a white. It's no telling what I would. It's whatever I find in my stash, really. But I don't know. I may. Well, a white would be fine because it's going next to the green. I just couldn't do a green or a blue. Now my kitty cat's over here stretching. Yeah, I think amidst all of the fun that we are having here, doing a boxing of to ship. I mean, bad of me because I wasn't paying attention to my eBay account for sale because I haven't listed anything new in probably a year. I have a lot of things I need to list, but I haven't listed them yet. Mostly what I have out there is glassware. And y'all, my eBay is the same thing as this, My Hobby Home. It has the same branding on it, the same little icon or whatever you want to call it. You know, you may be able to find it that way. Okay, guys, I have got my border pressed. And now what I'm doing is sewing 2 strips together to make my top and bottom borders. And once I get these done, I will be ready to carry it to the Longarmer. Now, I will be picking up my other quilt. I'll be going out of town next weekend. I'm trying to think here. My brain is not working real good because right now I'm in storm mode and that's all my brain is thinking about. So this weekend is storm. Next weekend is out of town. And the next weekend will be picking up my quilt and dropping off another quilt. So I am going to have to pin this quilt as well, this border as well. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I need to pin because just to be on the safe side. Okay, so we are ready to do the border on the bottom of the quilt. I'm just going to lay it there on that 1/4 inch. But my plan when I take this to have it long arm is to see if my Longarmer has anything that looks like a snowflake and do it in a silver or a shiny gray so the colors don't look so monotone. I don't know if that's the word for it really, but the colors are just so set apart that I think the quilting will just liven it up. And you know, sometimes the quilting can actually make a quilt. And what I mean by that, it can, you know, how you say, it can make or break. It can actually make a beautiful quilt. And sometimes it can break a beautiful quilt if you don't get the right quilting on it. Like me, if I have just a quilt that is just stunning without quilting, I may go for something very basic and simple. But sometimes you just want to show out on it. Like on that exploding heart, I had them, my backing was a pink and the front was black. The background was black. And I had them do the quilting in black. That way you couldn't see it on the front, but you could really see it on the back. The black contrasted with the pink so well that it was just beautiful. And my oldest daughter has it right now. Well, it's her quilt now because I made it for her. And y'all, my house is getting a little too warm. It could be because this light I have in here gets a little warm in here. But it is currently 32 degrees outside. Not that I really, my house stays pretty warm, but I like it to stay. Oh, there's another poke. Ouch. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how many times I poke myself pinning this. Almost every single pin. Yeah, I didn't press these out, and I can tell. And this quilt is why I now press out every step when I do it. Because if I don't, it's too big of a job to do, and I don't have a big enough area to do it. One moment, I'm going to get the heat off. Okay, I am back. And I think I figured out why I was so hot. I forgot to take my shoes off. And I had lined boots on. And I always come in and take my shoes off and put my slippers on. I didn't even put slippers on right now. My feet. I figure my feet are so hot. That's probably why I'm so hot. But I did cut my heat down to 65. Because I just do not like it hot in my house. I sleep so much better when it's cooler. Okay, so we've got that size done. I am going to just check the whole quilt here. All the way down. Making sure that it caught everywhere. Okay, friends, I am done. My Christmas or Santa gnome is completed. I have this green border on it. I know this green does not quite match the other greens or shades, but that was intentional. Let me get my knee thing out of the way there. That was intentional because I did not want it to blend in exactly. I'm going to scoop back. And I know you can't. That's a big Santa there. This is done. Santa gnome is done. I will be carrying this to my Longarmer in the end of January. So I should have it back by the end of February, and I will be able to do the binding at that time. So guys, yay! I always like to get a quilt top done, but this one is not going in my bin. I have my backing, and I'll have my quilt top, and I'll put it in a bag that I carry my items to my Longarmer in. So that way, it's there, it's ready to go. When I get it over there, I can pick up my other quilt, put it in the bag, and bring it back. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet, make sure to subscribe and click on that notification bell. I have been having a lot of people that I know are subscribers come and tell me, email me, or do it in the comments, that they realized they weren't getting my notifications that I had a video out there, and they went and looked, and lo and behold, they were no longer subscribed. I have had that happen to some channels that I watch also. So periodically, y'all just go check and make sure you're still subscribed, because I think YouTube is dropping those for some reason. I don't know why. But, yeah. Click on that notification bell and choose all. That way you don't miss a single thing that we are doing this year. We are going to be having the biggest Smash the Sash year ever. I am doing lots of giveaways and sharing projects with you guys, my friends. And I will be selling some of my items. If you are interested in something that you think, like I have Fat Quarter Shop, I have Open Gate Quilts, and I have Creative Notions. So I have those project boxes. If you are wanting something out of those boxes and you think I may have them, now think I only have those boxes for 1 year. So, but if you think I may have something and you're interested in it, just shoot me an email. I'll check and see. They're all stacked right here. And I would turn you to it, but it's kind of embarrassing because they go all the way to the ceiling. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. Guys, I hope you are staying safe. I hope you are warm. And I just pray safety over everyone, because right now this weather is getting pretty rough for our friends in the northeastern states. It's pretty rough. I've had several email me. I had someone tell me they were going to be at 0 tonight, so I'm just really hoping everyone is safe. And guys, as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.